Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining our webinar session today. I'm just going to wait about a minute just to slowly let everyone filter in. We're also streaming live on Facebook, so I'm just going to give it about a minute, Mark, if that's okay, and then I'll do the brief introduction, and then you can carry on with the presentation for today.
Sure, and we were just talking as we're just waiting for people to come on about how this is our last event, last webinar for the year. And man, we've done a lot of stuff this year, eh, Sandra?
Oh yeah, for sure. With all the events and the webinars that we've done. Yeah. So yeah, it's been a lot.
It's been really great. And you know, thanks to your help, leadership, organizer, everything, moderator, and for all the people obviously that have been on all our events, our job fairs. It's been quite an interesting time. And then we have our Facebook crowd too, to credit as well. So thanks everybody for being on here. And yeah, like I said, just wait another few seconds and then we'll get started as well. Yeah. Getting warm out there, eh, Sandra? It's like 17 degrees in the Toronto area. Yeah.
Oh wow, it's real. I don't know. It's really windy where I'm at here.
It's windy too, yeah, but it's
really bad. I can hear it in the window.
Yeah, 17 degrees. It's it might be. I think it's setting a record.
Sorry.
I think it's setting a record for the warmest December 16th ever recorded in Canadian history. So kind of cool.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. It's December and there's just no snow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so are we okay to start?
Sure. Yeah,
okay.
Might as well, yeah.
Okay, all right. So so good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining our webinar today. It's our last webinar of this year. My name is Sandra, and I'm the marketing coordinator at TorontoJobs.ca. And joining me is Mark Valaish. He is a CPA CA, and he's the president of TorontoJobs.ca. And he'll be discussing the topic, how TorontoJobs.ca can help you find a job. Just two things before I pass it over to Mark. We are recording the webinar, and we're also streaming live on Facebook. So if you want to refer to anything back in the webinar, it will be up on our YouTube channel, so you'll be able to check it out there. And we will be taking questions at the end of the webinar. Probably, I think, Mark, maybe like the last 5 or 10 minutes. So if you have a question, you can post it into the chat or into the Q&A box that's at the bottom of your Zoom screen. Or if you are on Facebook watching, you can post your questions in the chat there as well. That's it from my end. Thanks to everyone again for joining us. We're really appreciative of everyone just taking time out of their day to be here. And Mark, I'll pass it on to you, and I'll just be back at the end.
Excellent. Well, thanks, Sandra. Great job as always. So welcome everybody. I don't have a slide deck. I'm just going to be talking through here, but I'm going to share with you a number of links through the Zoom area, and I will post them later on to the Facebook page as well. So thanks to those of you watching here right now, and also to our Facebook group as well. So today we're going to spend another 25 minutes or so, going to introduce myself a little bit more, talk about the current labor market, what's happening. And then the core of the presentation is how we can help you find a job. A lot of people ask us this question, well, what do you guys do? Do you have a job board, social media? So I'm going to run through all that with you, and then we'll take some questions. So feel free to post them in the Q&A as we go along or in the chat. And I'll be posting items in the chat as well. So thanks again for Sandra. Thanks for all of you for being on here today. My background, I've been in the recruiting business for 26 years. I've been president of TorontoJobs.ca for the last 16 years. I can't say that I've seen everything in recruiting. There's always something new that comes up, but certainly the last 20 months or whatever has definitely been the most interesting year or a couple of years in my recruiting career. I also wrote a book called Tales from the Recruiter, and I'll share with you that as well as we go along here. So I always like to start with just kind of like what's happening in the labor market. If there's one question that people ask me when I meet them, when I speak with them, what's happening? You're in the game. What are you seeing? What's going on in the labor market right now? Well, we went from a period in March and April of 2020 where we lost 3 million jobs as a country. And that took us from the lowest unemployment rate ever recorded in Canadian history at just over 5% to the highest unemployment rate ever recorded in Canadian history at just over 13%. Now, over the last 20 months or so, you may be familiar that the jobs have actually come back fairly strong. The Liberal government will say that 106% of the jobs that were lost have come back. Now, yes, there is truth to that in the sense that is a gross number, but they also count a part-time job, somebody working part-time, as if there's a full-time job. So if there's a full-time job that was lost in March or April of 2020, and so that same person is now working, say, 5 hours a week, well, that person in their numbers have regained completely the job, which obviously isn't quite true. So employment in November, which is the most recent numbers that have come through in Canada, was 154,000 greater than where we were in October. The unemployment rate is now at 6%, and it's within 3.3 percentage points of what we were at in February of 2020. Now, there's all kinds of different stats. I always look at the number of Canadians that have been unemployed for 27 weeks or more, and that has been declining as well. It dropped by 62,000 in November, and that was the first decline since August of 2021. So that's a good sign. Number of people working from home. At the height of the pandemic, 40% of Canadians were working from home. Right now, we're at about 22% or so. 4.2 million people are working remotely at home. Now, the province with the lowest unemployment rate across Canada, interestingly enough, is Quebec at 4.5%. And the province with the highest unemployment rate across Canada is Newfoundland and Labrador at 10.4%. And Newfoundland and Labrador has been the leader in the highest unemployment rate for a long time, and Quebec as the lowest unemployment rate for a province in many months as well. Ontario, we are at 6.4% unemployment rate. And in terms of cities across Canada, Toronto is at 7.0%, so just about average across Canada. Vancouver is at 5.7%. Quebec City, Quebec at 2.8%, which is exceptional. Anything less than 3% is basically full employment. And St. John, New Brunswick is the highest unemployment rate in terms of a city metropolitan area, and that's at 8.5%. So good news generally overall that the job numbers have come down. In terms of the US has an unemployment rate of 4.2%. Now they measure the unemployment rate a little bit differently than what we do in Canada. They exclude a number of people that have been, for example, long-term unemployed. So you'll generally see a lower unemployment rate in the US. US added 210,000 jobs in November, and some of the numbers as well in terms of people working from home. So we are at about 24% of Canadians working from home. In the US, it's at about 11%. So we are about double of where US or Americans are in terms of working from home. So let's talk about how we can help you. You're looking for a job. Thanks for being on here. I really appreciate your time. So I'm going to give you a whole bunch of ways of how we can help you find a job. So first off, simplest way, excuse me, is to send your resume to us by email. It gets reviewed by the recruiting team. Every email gets reviewed, so you can send us your resume to resumes@TorontoJobs.ca. So I'm just posting it in the chat for the Zoom, and I will post it to the Facebook audience after this is done. So send us a resume, resumes@TorontoJobs.ca. You can also email me your resume to mark.belache, so first name dot last name @TorontoJobs.ca. So really easy to do. I will look at it. I will also forward it to the recruiting team, and where a recruiter will review it. And I will also send you a personalized response as well with more tips as well. Now, another way we can help you is you can watch a video of me, and a little bit shorter than today's, but you can watch a video that I've created where you can find out a little bit more about how we can help you find a position, a little bit more detail, and that's in the chat as well. Now, of course, you can always check out our website at TorontoJobs.ca. You can post your resume. You can search and apply to positions directly online. We post all our positions on there. And there are usually over 30,000 positions that are available in the Greater Toronto area posted at any time. So it's kind of an easy way to find jobs through there. There is a process. You have to post your resume. You have to post your resume and then read through applications or read through job descriptions and positions and apply directly online as well. Now, you can also sign up for job mail alerts as well when you do that. So job mail alerts will notify you when there's jobs that get posted that may be of interest to you. So instead of going back into the portal each time, you can sign up for weekly or daily job mail alerts, and then the system will notify you when there's a job that gets posted. Now we have our recruiting division. So I'm going to share with you the link on our recruitment division positions. This is a great way to connect with our recruiters directly. And if you're interested in positions that we are working through our TorontoJobs.ca recruitment division, a recruiter will be in contact with you. We'll do an interview with you and connect there. Now, we don't interview everybody. Not all recruiters interview everybody. If you meet 80% of the criteria that a company is looking for, then you will be contacted. A lot of people think, oh, well, I've sent my resume. I haven't heard anything back from a recruiting division or a staffing firm. It's basically if you're not really in that 80% plus. So kind of do yourself a favor in many respects. If you don't feel that you're an 80% match for a particular position, I wouldn't suggest generally applying. Now, that's not just for a recruiting firm, but that's also for a company if you're looking at a job posting. Now, another way we can help you out is we have a great toolkit, and it's a real great document on how to find a job. There's lots of great not articles, but examples of resumes, and I'm putting it in the chat here for you. But it's a great toolkit. You can use it. You can look at some of the examples, resumes that are in there that you can follow along. It gives you some interview tips. It's all a really great document. It's called Ignite Your Job Search. And you'll see what it is. Sandra and I worked on this quite a bit over the last year or so. It talks about different types of interview questions, behavioral interviewing, tips during the interview, lots of job seeker resources. You can meet our recruitment division and so on. So definitely lots of great tools there. You definitely want to use that aspect of it and connect through there as well. So that's where you get review the guide for tips on searching for a position, ignite your job search. Next one is number 7 on my list is connect with me on LinkedIn. If we're not already connected, I'm happy to connect with you. If there's anything I can do, I do post a lot of articles. I do post a lot of job openings as well that come up, interesting tips on interviewing, trends, and job numbers as well. So feel free to connect with me if we're not already connected there too. Number 8 on my list. If you are interested in some one-on-one coaching or help putting your resume together, we do provide that. You can spend some time with the TorontoJobs.ca recruiter. You can go to talesfromtherecruiter.ca /shop-now/tales. If you don't see it in the chat, I will post it for our Facebook audience right after this webinar concludes. But what we can do is we can help with one-on-one coaching. We do get quite a bit of demand, interest from people who just want help, just want some advice, want some feedback on their resume. So you can do that. And it is a paid service. So I just want to let you know that as well. But if you are interested in that, you can certainly do it through there. And I don't know of many other places that will provide professional from recruiters that can help you with that. So if you are interested, that would be great. Next up, we have, although earlier on, if you were on earlier on, we talked about some of the webinars and sessions and events that we've done through the course of this year. This is the last one for 2021. I'm not sure how many we did over the course of the year, but I'm guessing, maybe on average one a week. So maybe 40 to 50 events of various types, webinars, and so on through the course of the year. So I'm putting in the link of how you can go from there, and you can connect on there as well. So you can find out what events are coming up, what we have. You might want to bookmark that so you can know events. We have lots of webinars that come up quite regularly on different topics. So you can connect from that as well. So that's the virtual events, and that would be hopefully helpful for you as well. And number 10 is getting a copy of my book called Tales from the Recruiter. So this is my book. I wrote it, took me about 3 years to write. It's got a lot of great topics on how to find a job. It's got some sample questions. People ask me questions, so I've included that in the book. You can get a hard copy of the book if you wanted at any GTA library, Mississauga or Toronto library. And as you can sign it out, obviously for free at the library. You can read it online for free at talesfromtherecruiter.ca. You can just download it and that's right there. Or if you wanted a hard copy for yourself, you'd prefer a hard copy, you can order it at talesfromtherecruiter.ca. So just another way that we can help you out as well. I'm going to put in the PDF or the link where you can read it online in the chat as well. And for the Facebook audience, I'll post that in after this seminar is done. So you can read it online, visit that link that I just posted, but you can also connect through it with TorontoJobs.ca. Next up, number 11 is following us on social media. We have lots of great social media on TorontoJobs.ca. There's a link tree, so linktr.ee/TorontoJobs.ca. And that way you can connect with all our social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram. And also our YouTube channel as well. We have a great YouTube channel. I think last I counted, I think there were over 300 videos on there that you can check out our channel and go from there. So that's great to do, easy to do, and certainly a great way of connecting that way as well. So next up is our I'm going to just throw something in here, and I'm just going to change something so that I can give you the right link here. So, okay, so next up is we have been developing since COVID, we at TorontoJobs.ca since COVID, we have been developing a new hiring platform, a new way to find a job. It's called Gahuza. It's G like Gordon, UHUZA.com, Gahuza.com. And you can register at the link that I provided to you on the chat here. So if you visit Gahuza.com, but if you specifically visit the link that I provided to you, Gahuza.com/job-seeker/register, you'll be able to find the information on there. Again, Gahuza.com/job-seeker/register. If you're just watching through Facebook, again, I'll put them on the through there as well. So what else? Number 13, you can subscribe to our TorontoJobs.ca YouTube channel and watch hundreds of videos on job search. So I'm going to put that in here in the chat as well. You'll be able to watch it from there as well. Number 14, there's lots of specific ways within our social media to connect. So I'm going to, again, post the chats in here. We have Twitter, there's Facebook, there's LinkedIn, and I'm just going to throw then all the links on here while you're watching. You can connect and join the groups, follow us on all our social media channels. A lot of great stuff on there. We try to post a lot of interesting articles, a lot of interesting topics, reference points, and so on. So a lot of good ways to connect that way as well. Again, you can post a resume on our site. So number 15 on my list of ways TorontoJobs.ca can help you find a job. You can post a resume on our site, and there's the link right there on there. Also, what I found has been really interesting, and I share it with a lot of people, is words that you want to use on your resume as you're building your resume. So I've included a link on here that gives you words and phrases and suggestions if you're kind of not sure how you should say something on your resume, if you're not sure how to like you're trying to come up with words, creative words. So we took a bunch of resumes, we captured some of the more interesting words, and we've included that in the resume writing link that I just sent to you. Now, another way that we can help you out is find out what you should be earning. So there's a salary wizard on here, and you can go onto the salary wizard. You can put in your information. You can find out what salary ranges, what salary information is available. And then from there, you can kind of get an idea as to what the market is. And that captures a number of different types of positions that are really appropriate. So hopefully that helps, and you can use that from there. Now, you can also text us at any time. So there's lots of, we have people that are watching our text lines all the time. We do get a lot of text, especially obviously in today's world. Maybe email is not your thing. Maybe you'd rather text. So you can always text us at 289-206-1651. That's 289-206-1651. 289-206-1651. You can text us anytime. If you want to ask us a question, there's something that you want to know, you have a question about a job, by all means do that. Our plans are for 2022 in terms of job fairs as well. We have put those on hold for the short term. We have been doing virtual events, but we are looking at different ways of connecting you with employers as well through the course of 2022 as well. So in conclusion, and then we'll take a few questions. I know there's a little bit of time left here. So there's always ways that we can help. There's 17, 18 ways that I've just provided to you just in this short webinar in the last 20, 25 minutes. You can certainly connect with me. You can connect with me on LinkedIn. You can email your resume at resumes@TorontoJobs.ca. Make sure to follow us on social media, visit the website regularly. We also put up blogs on our website as well. In fact, I'm gonna see if I can throw in a link to some of the blogs that we have that might be of interest to you, because there's some good articles on here too. So I'm just going to share that with you as well. News and advice here. I'm going to just put a link here of the different articles that are on here. So, all right. So there's that link on there. And what else? I know we're going to take some questions and go from there as well. And Sandra, if you're available, and I do see some questions here as well. So I'm going to I'm going to answer some questions here as well. I do see somebody wrote here about, would you provide one-on-one interview? So yes, we do one-on-one interview. If there's a job through our recruiting division, then we can certainly help out with that. And you can visit talesfromtherecruiter.ca to get some information about there. But what you can also do is you can send in your resume to us, say, hey, can I get a interview one-on-one with someone, and see if there's something. If there's something that we can help out with, then we can certainly we'll if there's a job that we have, if a client that we have that is interested in somebody with your background, then of course we're going to interview you. We can't interview everybody. That's something that before I got into recruiting, I didn't really know or understand. But what happens with a job with recruiters is we will get a number of different people who will say to us, hey, look, don't you guys interview everybody? Can't recruiting firms interview everybody? Well, there's just not enough time or resources to interview every single person that applies or posts their resume. So So it's really a question of if there's a match, then we'll go from there for sure. Welcome back, Sandra.
Hi, sorry. Okay, so let me see here. So another question is, what's the best way of finding a job? Is there a best way?
Yeah, I mean, as much as we provide the services for TorontoJobs.ca to help people find jobs, I've been in recruiting for a long time, and I always think that the best way is through a network, and most jobs are found through the hidden job markets, and those are jobs that have never been advertised. Those are jobs through referrals, somebody maybe a previous manager, previous supervisor. 80 to 90% of jobs are found that way. So, and I would say that during COVID, that number is probably even higher. It's about who people that people contacts and so on. So I would, if it was me, I would definitely use all the tools that I've mentioned to complement your search, but I would also spend a lot of time working your network, working your connections. Sometimes people are new to Canada and they're like, they don't know anybody. And I talk about that in my book, but the reality is that, your network is your supporter. So maybe you have a network on Facebook, you have friends, you have connections on LinkedIn and so on. So that's your best way. That's your network that you should really work with. And everybody, recruiters that I have known, partners, organizations that help people find jobs, always talk about the hidden job market. Really great way of finding a job.
Any advice for older job seeking candidates?
Yeah, I feel I'm older now. I guess I'm 56 years old, and so I guess I'm in the older older sphere. There's younger job seekers that I'm 3 times their age now, so I'm like, I feel maybe a little bit older, but I still feel like I'm 20 or 21 or whatever. But I think what you need to do is continue to work your network, and don't look at age as an issue, and you want to highlight your experience. I have a friend of mine who is my age, and we grew up together, and unfortunately he lost his job, and I said, don't get down. We're older, yes, but we're wiser too. We have good experience, valuable experience that somebody will want to get. So leverage your strengths. Don't focus on the negative. Leverage your strengths, and look at the qualities that you do have.
If someone does not have very strong or does not have a very strong network, then in what case, what would you do in that case?
Yeah, things like LinkedIn, Facebook, platforms like these, Twitter, have just given everybody really a good chance of connecting with different people. So I would just really, really work that network, the social network, social networks, right? Probably 2 or 3, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, but certainly LinkedIn is when it comes to job search. And I would try to connect with people within, whether it's your industry, people that you have something in common with, maybe it's a certain hobby or whatever, and just leverage off of that and try to get in with them and make personal relationships with them. I think back to 20 years ago, 10 years ago, before there were platforms like LinkedIn or Facebook. And boy, you really had to work your network. You really had to go out there and go to events and talk to people. But now you have it at your fingertips. Like there's no real reason why you can't say, I don't have a network. That everybody, you can get to a network very quickly.
Okay, so the next question here, I think we can do maybe one more question.
Yep.
That's okay? Okay.
Yeah.
So what are the key words to put in a resume?
So I mentioned earlier a list of words that you can use in a resume, in the sense of coordinated, organized, like things to get your mind going. But in terms of what you really want to do is you want to make sure that your resume comes up when recruiters search for it. So you want to think of how a recruiter might search for your resume, what skills, what criteria, maybe a system that you use, and make sure that those are in there. So recruiters won't generally search for words like organization, that you're very organized, or Excel or Outlook, because these are standard words that people put on their resume anyways. You want to think of designations that you have, maybe certainly the company that you were working at, the companies you're going to have on your resume, but what industry are they in? So for example, if you worked in a manufacturing of whatever, widgets, for example, you want to put widgets and manufacturing in your resume, because those will be terms that the recruiters look for when they're searching resume databases. Hopefully that helps. Yeah.
Do you want to do one more? There's one more question.
Sure.
Or yeah, okay. So how do you define a resume, good or bad, and how many pages should it have?
So pages, definitely 2 pages should be sufficient, that people can get enough information on there that will whet the appetite of a recruiter. An interview will give more, you'll have more of an opportunity to give more information about yourself and your experience in an interview. The resume is just to get your foot in the door. So 2 pages should be sufficient. You list your background, your experience, what you've been doing, the companies that you were working on, the titles, your name, contact information, perhaps an objective, but certainly two pages. And how do I define a resume? Something that is clean. Like some of the resumes that I've seen, if there's too many words on a page, if the font is really small and it looks like you're just trying to put in as much information as you can, that, to me, that's not as good a resume as somebody who just really, has some good white space, really hits the point as to what their experience has been, what their jobs were, responsibilities, maybe some accomplishments as well. Again, just to whet my appetite to say, yeah, you know what, this person is in where I'm looking at. Like over the years, I've looked at hundreds of thousands of resumes. I've interviewed over 10,000 people over the years. And, I look beyond a lot of times the format of a resume, and I look to the substance. Can this person do the job that a client has asked us to recruit for? So if that answer is yes, I'm going to interview that person, and I'm going to look beyond sometimes even spelling mistakes and grammatical mistakes, because I know this person can do that job for the client. But make sure your resume doesn't have any spelling and grammatical mistakes either, because that is a turnoff for recruiters as well. So make sure somebody proofreads it as well.
Okay. Is there anything else, Mark, that you wanted to add at all, just before we close everything up here?
I would just say, good luck. Feel free to reach out. I won't bite. And I'm wishing everybody the great best for the holidays and for 2022. Stay safe. There's this new variant out there, obviously, that's making a lot of waves over the last 24, 48 hours. Stay safe, be well, and stay positive too, especially if you're in a job search. Really stay positive.
Okay, perfect. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining the webinar today. Have a nice rest of the day.
And thank you, Sandra, for organizing everything. That's great.
Yeah, well, thanks for hosting the webinar with me. So,
Thanks.
Okay, perfect. Bye, everyone.
Thanks.